Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode where we are going to dive into the news and trends that has been impacting small business owners over the past week. So get ready, we're diving into the big news, huge news from Instagram, all things Parklets. We're going to cover the $500 million small business relief fund that the state just released, and we're going to cover all things pivots, expansions, and the growing trend of small businesses going into hibernation for the winter. So get ready. We're in Santa Cruz today and we're headed to our SoCal headquarters. Get ready. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna kick things off with the absolutely huge news from Instagram last week. I got word of it with regards to the search function of Instagram, so the magnifying glass. So traditionally it's involved hashtags, it's involved locations, as well as profiles, but they added keywords. Why that is so big? Basically, they've turned themselves into a search engine for all the content that is on Instagram. So think about that. It's going to require a little bit more work, but when you're doing posts, right now it's for posts and Instagram TV, and soon to be, I'm sure it will be reels and stories and everything else. But really the captions, the actual content itself, and from what we've been told, the timeliness, how recent is the content, those three things factor into the searchability. And so they're expanding slowly the number of the types of search terms. So right now, if you were to type in, and I'll do a screen grab here, type in shopping or gifts, different types of gifts, like a sub menu will pop up. So you can tap on the different types of gifts and all sorts of posts will pop up. So what that means, a little extra work for you, the business owner, because you need to get the wordsmithing hat out and really populate your posts now in your IGTVs and potentially like stories and reels down the line as they expand the program, and really SEO what makes that product or what makes your service different and special, and really use some of those keywords that you know your customer or your fans, your followers would actually be typing in. And last episode, I mentioned one of the key kind of strategies is to really come up with a very succinct differentiation sentence or two that you basically becomes a footer in all your posts. So start doing that now, because that way you're going to be able to really show up in results as people really get used to this search function. So one business I want to do a little shout out for is Bad Animal. Bad Animal Books here in Santa Cruz. Andrew is the man behind the wordsmithing. If you want to look at some just stellar, like gripping wordsmithing and writing on Instagram, check them out. Check out Bad Animal. Stellar. So check them out. Okay, so I gotta throw this one in just because it's so key, especially right now. The other Instagram news, which I had talked about, I think in an episode or two ago, is about the guides. There's a new guides when you go to create a new story. It gives you a new option as to create a guide, and basically it allows you to curate your content, your posts, or others that you have bookmarked or saved. And so basically, for the variety of businesses that are out there, you could, if you're into food, you could create a recipe book, a type of menu. You could, if you're in any type of product or retail, you could create gift guides for the holidays, and basically you could curate like a month's worth of posts that are in a certain type of niche or category of what you do. So check out guides, do it now, and you can start sending people there via stories and other means. So fantastic option for you guys. Okay, next up is Parklets, and they can be amazing visuals to promote your business, not to mention help you stay in business. But there is an immense expense to creating them. And I've read just a couple days ago that construction companies and architects in the city have been donating their time and really developing plans and offering their services to businesses that are struggling, and this would basically help keep their doors open. So definitely check into the construction experts in your region to see if they can help you. And there might be ways in which to save money that they can turn you on to. And if you're not in the food business, there is the option of maybe talking to your district supervisor for your city or for your county. Because here locally in Santa Cruz, I know a district supervisor was very helpful in allowing other businesses outside of food to get that parklet. A special shout out to Rocky's Fitness Center, who did exactly that. And they've been able to operate outside of their building during all the lockdowns going back and forth. So it's been a savior for them. So definitely hit up the powers that be and see what you can do to negotiate getting outside the office or your building or whatever it might be to get that parklet. And a special shout out to a few cities that have come across in my travels that just have wow factor parklets. First, San Francisco. Second, Carmel by the Sea. Oh my goodness, they go all out. Palo Alto on University Avenue, amazing. And then also Santa Cruz, Pacific Avenue, and some of the side streets as well. And a special shout out to Los Gatos, to the city of Los Gatos, because they took the white barriers that you traditionally see during construction zones. They actually went the extra mile and went and painted all of them a nice soft brown so they blended in so that white traditional construction barrier wasn't such an eyesore. So kudos to them. So hopefully that helps. Down below here, you can access the link to get some of the stories. Not only did you get my top 5 cities where they have great parklets to go and visit and check them out for ideas, but also I have a link to an article for those in San Francisco that have some wow factor as well. So check out the links below to find out more about all things parklets. Okay, so Gavin Newsom has been in the news recently for both good and bad reasons. In this case, it was for a good reason because he was announcing that there will be a $500 million small business relief grant program coming out soon. And tied to that is a sales tax relief program as well. So there's a lot of details still coming out, but below this video, I have the link to find out more and get some details. And when it comes to the grant program, nothing's released yet. The program is not launched, but there is a way in which you can sign up and basically be the first to know when they launch the program. You get on an email list. So definitely check out the link below to access all the details that are currently out there. But one thing that I'm starting to notice quite a bit more is that of businesses. Many times it's restaurants, but it is in other industries, making the decision to go into hibernation for the winter, much like a bear. And they plan on hopefully coming out of it come March, come April maybe, just to weather the storm of all things lockdown, COVID, economy, everything else. So we're very fortunate to have one of our favorite people to have on the show, Larry Hebert. I refer to him as the cash flow king, but he really is the expert when it comes to operations, cash flow, logistics, sales, and everything that you need to run a business efficiently and successfully. So with that, Larry, welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Bryce. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
What would you say are maybe 3 tips you would have for them before they go and do that?
Well, this is very appropriate for this time. I've been working over the past 7 or 8 months with about 200 businesses, both through SBDC and my private clients, and this has come up a number of times. And so I'm going to give you 3 things that you may want to consider if you're doing this. So the first one is you want to make an analysis of, if I close for this period of time, what expenses will not go away? And many times that's rent. It could be, I'm sure you could be in some insurance. You've got some insurance you need to pay to protect your premises or what you have inside of it. And there may be some other little expenses. And what is that number on a monthly basis? And then you look at, if you were going to forecast your sales and your ongoing operating expenses, what would the net income be? Because that generally would be the cash that you would have to put in order to make things even, right? Mm-hmm. So you compare those 2 numbers. You also need to look at where do I have cash available, or what access do I have to cash in order to make sure I make it through this time and also pay my personal expenses as well. And then the third tip I would say, whether it's going good or not going good, or we're at the high point of our business, the pandemic didn't happen, I'm a true believer in forecasting / budgeting. And that is to look in the future from day one through 12 months or even beyond, and really look at what am I forecasting to come in? What are my costs going to be to generate that revenue? What are my operating expenses? And what non-expenses do I have to pay, such as loan principal payments, or if I have to pay draws? I'm not on this, if I'm a sole proprietor or a partner, I don't take a salary, I've got to take a draw out. That's all cash coming out of the business. And so you need to forecast this going forward to say, when I get back in operations, how is this going to look? How long will it take for me to break even? When will my cash start accumulating as opposed to going out? And if you had to use any loans or pay any expenses at the time that you were closed, you need to add those into this cash flow if you were able to offset them for several months. So I think if you use those 3 tips, it can relieve a lot of stress, because it kind of puts the answers in your hands. And we do not want to make uninformed decisions right now. You have to make informed decisions as best you can, because it's real easy to make a mistake. And the decisions you're making by doing this are going to be proactive decisions rather than reactive decisions. We're reacting to the pandemic, but if you take a moment, some time, and really go through this process for a few days or maybe a week, and sit down and think about it, go through it with your spouse, go through it with your business partner, that sort of thing, then you make an informed decision based on the numbers that you have.
Well, thank you, Larry. Those were fantastic, and we can't wait to have you back on the show. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it, and hopefully you got some great value out of this episode. I want to thank our presenting sponsor, your local small business development center. Ours is in Santa Cruz at santacruzsbdc.com. But if you're in Monterey County, just go to calcoastalsbdc.com. And if you're anywhere else throughout Northern California, asksbdc.com is where you can find yours. So in between episodes, just go to bryceroot.com. That is where you can find all our vlogs that we've been doing for years now. And you can use the search function. Just type in any marketing or business term that you want to find out more about, and all sorts of results are going to pop up for you. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next episode.